Thank you for inviting me.
Excellent. Right. I don't know what the weather's like over there, but where are you? Where are you at the moment?
I'm in Denmark. It's snowy.
Oh, okay. Well, I think we've had something come through.
Oh.
So a lot of wind, a lot of rain. Not too bad in the south here I am, but I think up in the north. But it's December. What can we say? Right. Let's have a chat. Okay, we've now got Melissa from Ad Infinitum on the line. Now we're talking about, you got a brand new album that's out now, isn't it? But I'm sort of, and this is the first I sort of come across you, and I hadn't really realised that the whole Ad Infinitum only came into being in the last couple of, well, in fact, in the midst of lockdown, was it? I mean, so tell us a bit about the history of the band, should we say?
Yeah, so we released our first album last year in April 2020. And obviously we had to change plans a little bit because we were supposed to release the first album, go on tour and festivals and all this. And we had to rethink completely the whole promotion of our album and how we would share it with the world. But in the end, turned out pretty good because people were all at home and they were all hungry for music. So we've had a great start. Now our second album is already out as well.
And so does that mean, were you unable to tour? Did you tour any of the first album?
Exactly. I mean, we had our first show this summer in Czech Republic. I think it was it in July? I think it was in the end of July. We had our first show right before releasing, like 1 week before releasing the first single of the second album.
And is that why then the second album has come out so relatively quickly after the first? Did you realise, given the situation with COVID in the world, that being unable to tour, well, we may as well go back in and start writing part two?
Exactly. We thought, we don't want to sit and wait until we can go on tour again because we have absolutely no idea when that will be. So let's just write more music, because it would be a pity, to release an album and then nothing is happening with the band. So we thought, let's just do what we can do while we cannot tour.
And this is called Chapter 2 Legacy, which is the follow-up to Chapter 1 Monarchy. Is it, because of the short delay between the two albums, is it effectively a part two? I mean, I'm guessing what I'm thinking was, if you toured on the first album as you would have done, then presumably the second album wouldn't have come out perhaps for a couple of years and would have been a different beast. Is this effectively part two to the part one that came out in last year?
Not in terms of story, because the lyrics are based on different themes, but I would say it's like, we decided to write Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 as the chapters of the life of the band rather than the life of the songs.
And so now, having listened to Chapter 2, if I want to go back and listen to Chapter 1, how much difference is there between the two albums?
I think the second album is much more us in terms of composition, and you can hear more our influences and skills, because we decided to write it without the external influence of a producer, and the result is younger, fresher, something that we're very proud of, and maybe also darker and heavier.
Because it's got a bit of a, so what's the sort of story behind Legacy? It's got a bit of a Dracula theme to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. We decided to inspire the theme that the main character would inspire the lyrics is Vlad Dracula, just like we did for the first album with Louis XIV. And so before writing the lyrics, I made a lot of research regarding the life of Vlad Dracula, but also the myths of the Transylvanian superstitions that gave birth to Dracula as the vampire, to make sure that we could talk both about Dracula the hero, Dracula the bad guy, and Dracula the vampire. And this gave a lot of possibilities for the lyrics, and a lot of it's a big source of inspiration. So there was a lot to say.
So there's more to Dracula than just the blood-sucking vampire that sometimes he's portrayed at. Is that what you're getting at? Is there's two sides to every story?
Definitely. For many people, he was a national hero who defended Wallachia against the Ottoman Empire, and for people on the other side of history, he killed thousands of people. He mostly impaled a lot of people, or got impaled, because he didn't do it all by himself, but with his army. And I always think that it's important to tell both sides of history and not to choose one, especially when I live in Denmark. I'm from Switzerland. I have nothing to do with these countries' history. So that's why I wanted to be fair with everyone and talk about all this. And obviously you cannot talk about Dracula without talking about the superstitions. So that was also something very interesting to dig in.
And did you discover things that you didn't know yourself about Dracula?
Lots of things, actually. And also, things from the history of Dracula that's that influenced the stories of the vampires. For example, two things come to my mind right now. The fact that Vlad Dracula had something called porphyria, and I cannot describe exactly what it is, but it makes you sensitive to the sunlight. And this is one of the things that vampires in stories, they are sensitive to sunlight too. So it said that it influenced the way vampires are portrayed. And the second thing is, when Vlad Dracula was killed, it was said that he was buried in a close to a monastery around Bucharest, if I'm correct. And that later on the grave was open and no body was found there. So that made people wonder if he came back to life.
Right. I'm trying not to draw comparisons to the fact that we're coming up to Christmas now, and I can think of other historical characters that might apply to. But presumably, presumably then that the whole Dracula theme, I mean, it paints a lovely picture in your mind as you're describing it there. Does that mean that hopefully when we get to see you out on tour, and fingers crossed that soon, does that mean that there's a very sort of gothic stage show to go with the storyline that you're depicting?
Yeah, I mean, we like to do, to offer a show that is both visual and musical. So yeah, definitely we like to go all in with also lights and costumes. I mean, costumes, stage outfits, not costumes. Yeah, but we will see, because like you said, whenever we can go on tour, maybe we'll have new ideas, or maybe maybe another album, who knows. I hope not.
So have you got any touring dates at the moment? It's very difficult to know what's happening tomorrow, let alone in 2 or 3 weeks or months' time. But have you got plans for 2022 now?
Yeah, we do. Actually, 2 hours ago, we announced that we will have the pleasure to join Amaranth, Beyond the Black, and Butcher Babies on a European tour. So we're really looking forward to this one. They unfortunately had to postpone it to October, November 2022.
Right.
But, I don't know what will happen before the festival season. So I'm personally very happy that this tour is scheduled for this time. And we have also nice festivals that we already announced in Austria, in Germany, in the Netherlands. So yeah, and we have more to announce also in other countries. So we will be around.
Does that European tour include any UK dates?
Definitely, yes.
Brilliant.
I don't know by heart all the dates, but I believe we have both London and Manchester.
And you mentioned Amaranth there as part of that tour. Now, doesn't Niles from the band feature on one of the tracks on the new album? Yeah,
he is. He joined us on Afterlife.
And so how did you get him involved with that?
The thing is, we were supposed to tour with Dynasty in 2020, and this tour got postponed many times, and in the end, none of Dynasty and Ad Infinitum won't be part of it. But we decided, we had this idea to collaborate and to promote both bands by doing a featuring like this between albums. First, it was supposed to be between albums because they released an album pretty much at the same time as our first album, and then we ended up creating an acoustic album, so we didn't create any other single like off album, but we kept the idea of asking Niels to join one song, because it's a nice addition, you know, when you have an extra vocalist, and he has a brilliant voice, so we definitely wanted to have him on board, and he did.
Excellent. And talking of collaborations, I also saw your name pop up on something else I was downloading this week, which was the Fireshots single. I mean, which has got a whole army of guest vocalists on that. How did you get involved in that one?
Oh, actually, I already collaborated with Fireshots in 2020 for their song Ding. And also I have a project with Hans, the guitar player, which is called The Dark Side of the Moon, and yeah, we're all friends, so it's you know, it's more like a friends gathering than anything else.
Because I sort of get the impression that actually, presumably, the genre of music that you're in is a fairly small, tight circle, because I often see a lot of the same names pop up on the same collaborations and working together. Is it sort of is there sort of a family vibe that you get amongst the bands that you end up touring with, and that makes collaborations an easy thing to do?
Yeah, definitely. For example, this tour that I just mentioned with Ad Infinitum, supporting Beyond the Black, Amaranth, and Butcher Babies, most of the people know already each other, or have toured with each other, or collaborated, or even worked together on projects. So it's like, you know, family gathering.
Excellent. So we're going to see you back over here in October, November, did you say, next year? Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff. And the album is out at the moment, is it? The brand new album?
Yeah, it's been out since end of October now.
I was going to say, I thought it was the 29th of October. I saw something that came out. That's brilliant stuff. Well, thank you ever so much for chatting about it. I'm thoroughly enjoying the tracks I've got. I think I've already put in a request for an album. I'm afraid I'm quite old school in that I love getting singles sent to me, but I want something physical that I can look at the pictures. And it's the first thing my daughter, who's 14, will do is open the booklet up, look at the pictures, look at the costumes, look at what people are wearing, look at the lyrics, and I completely, you know, you can send me an MP3, but it somehow doesn't have the same same appeal, I feel. So I look forward to getting a copy of the album, and I will definitely be playing a lot of the tracks. So thank you ever so much for that. That's very kind. Would you mind doing us a quick ident for the radio show?
Of course.
So Chas Byrne, Express FM.
Wait, say it again.
So Chas Byrne and Express FM. Okay,
I will just see if I have it written, because it will be easier for me. I'm a very visual person.
Do you know what? Not to name drop, but I interviewed Slash in a studio in London. It must have been around Revolver time, and he was lovely. And we did the interview, and it literally took him about 5 to 10 minutes to do the ident, and the only way he could do it was to write it down. So you're in good company, I feel.
Oh, that's good. So you said Chas Byrne for Express FM. Radio. No, Express FM, just Express FM.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. And what exactly do you want me to say? Like, you're listening to.
This is Melissa from Ad Infinitum. You're listening to Chas Byrne on Express FM. All words to that effect, something, you know, whatever, just so I know who you are, right. and then I can drop it in between every time I play your track. I can drop it in there.
All right. Hey, this is Melissa Bonny from Ad Infinitum, and you're listening to Chas Byrne on Express FM.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you ever so much.
Oh
Thank
my
you
God,
very much. In one.
One shot.
That's great. Thank you ever so much. I'm thoroughly enjoying the stuff that I'm hearing, and I should be playing loads of it. Thank you very much, Melissa. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation.
Bye.
Bye.